Well, guys, here we are rolling into Callao. We'll go take a look. We've been traveling that Lincoln Highway, which is also the Pony Express and Overland stage route. So I've been told there's an old building up here in town. It's I forget if it's like a log cabin type thing or whatever, that for some time that was the hotel, and it's so old that they said that old what's his name, Will Rogers, stayed here. When he came, I know he made a famous trip out here on the stagecoach, and he was the one that, and those stage stops were, most of them about every 10 miles or whatever, and he was the one that said that after visiting the West, he says once you get out west, once you cross the Mississippi River and get out west, he says whiskey is for drinking and water is for fighting. So I don't know if that's the old that cabin back there might have been the one. I'll bet you that was the one, unless it's this old one here, but one of those was the hotel. Maybe it was that one. Anyway, we'll find out. Okay, this says this was the Willow Springs Pony Express station. This station was established April 3rd, 1860 on the route of the Pony Express between St. Joseph, Missouri and Sacramento, California. It was discontinued October 27th, 1861 when the Transcontinental Telegraph Line was open. An overland stage station was operated here from 1859 to 1870. So now I'm going to pull in here because I happen to know this guy. I've met this the guy that lives here. His name's Don Anderson, and I'd met him a time or two. And I can remember coming here when I was just a little boy. My dad brought me out here, and there's a big tree there that's supposed to be so many 100 years old or something like that. So, but I know these people are pretty friendly, so we'll go find out. Okay, this is a willow tree here. This is in a photograph in 1900 of this original Pony Express station here, which is was built out of adobe and then covered with a clapboard there.
This is the tree that...
Now that's the one.
That's a Fremont cottonwood tree.
Fremont cottonwood.
I don't know how many varieties of cottonwood trees there are, but supposedly that's the biggest one in the state of Utah. Whoever can keep track of that kind of stuff.
Oh, because that spring.
Biggest.
Well, a lot of it.
Biggest Fremont cottonwood in the state of Utah.
You know, they aren't native of Callao. Those trees
way
are all
up
brought
there.
in, on saddlebags or whatever. Because there weren't many trees here at that time.
That is a big tree. If I'll walk up to that. Just walk around there. Maybe that's supposed to be the largest Fremont cottonwood tree in the state. There you can see the Pony Express Trail, 1860 to 1861. There you can see the other side of the Pony Express station. So. Most of these other log buildings, they're over 100 years old.
Well,
imagine.
Maybe, I don't know. This was an ice house. They called it an ice house. And in the wintertime,
that was an ice house there.
They would go down in the meadows where the ponds were frozen up and bring in big chunks of ice.
And they keep most of the year.
Stack them in there with burlap bags and so forth, just to try to keep them cool enough, and they would have ice till summertime. So.
Yeah. So now, Don, what was the name of that hotel, the old hotel that was up the road here?
Kearney.
Kearney.
Kearney. K-E-A-R-N. Now I get a little confused. Up here at the Garland's place was either the post office.
One of those old buildings.
Well, I know where the Kearney Hotel was, but they also had Clara Tripp's Hotel, or you know, what we would call a bed and breakfast or whatever. Just a place you come and stage stop and so forth to stay over. And I'm not quite clear on the history of that.
Yeah.
So again, my wife's cut a little hay, and she would tell you the truth.
Yeah.
I just tell you what I think, and nobody calls me a liar.
That's right. We don't over exaggerate anything.
But her father and grandfather, her dad, he married his wife up in Logan, his college students up at Utah State, and they came out here in 1948. But her grandfather, Cyrene Bagley, had been here since 1920.
I see.
But the Bagley family has owned this since 1886.
It was they homesteaded it, probably.
Well, they bought it. No, not as a homestead.
Maybe it was after the homestead.
Yeah, they bought it in 1886 from George Boyd, who was like a son-in-law. I can't remember of which one. There were three men that went into business together to do the Pony Express.
Oh, okay.
Russell, Waddell, and Majors. And George Boyd, I think, is the son-in-law of one of those three.
Okay.
And he, and I don't know how, again, Beth would know that story better, but he acquired this place, at least 160 acres around.
I see.
And then in 1886, that's what the Bagleys bought from George Boyd. So.
So now it's like 80 or 90 miles to Delta? Is that right?
About 90.
About 90. So that's where you folks go to church and all that stuff?
No, there's a church out here.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, when...
you have a branch here?
Mm-hmm. Well, okay. Yeah, you can't... Well, over there a little ways from those trees was another building that was brought in like this.
I see.
To start as a church in about 1954 or something like that.
Okay.
Then, I think 1993. Well, so Callao itself kind of had a nucleus of church members, but they had the Callao branch, and that members were coming 40 miles from down the valley up to Callao. So about 1993, I think, they built a branch building. Oh, it's kind of centered in the valley. We've got to go, what, 18 miles.
I see.
So everybody has to travel, because there's nothing really right there, but everybody travels a little bit to get there. But anyway.
Well, we appreciate you taking a minute to show us around. We take a look inside. Yeah, that'd be nice. Take a look inside.
We don't keep this necessarily as really kept up as a.
Sure.
We use it for storage. Got a couple of freezers and whatnot, and I was going to show the cattlemen some of these bags. Because
I remember those.
Yeah, you'd hang them on the front of your car.
When I was a kid, my dad had a service station. Every car coming from California, you'd have one of them. They'd just get them wet and they'd keep your water cool. Desert.
Where was that station?
In kind of on the north end of Nephi. It was a Sinclair. And I used to pump gas when I was. See them desert brand. Anyway, when I was just a kid, 10 years old or whatever, I had to have a stool so I could stand up there to.
Oh, is that right?
Clean their window. But,
well, all these are old desert.
Yep, and they'd keep it cool too.
Right. But anyway, we just some of these were old kerosene refrigerators.
Oh, the kerosene refrigerators. I see.
I'm not sure if this one has a couple more of them in here, but we
just got like a summer kitchen here where you can cut meat or whatever you want to do. When you cut meat,
this is really kind of what that grinds up.
Get a grinder
and so forth, which is all we kind of use this as anymore. The old stovepipe, this whole building, it wants to lean that way, and
right.
I don't know what we're going to do to try to keep it up. Structurally, we could just, unless you come in here and really kind of start from scratch on some of the stuff. But these are, that's an old adobe brick. And
wow, that's adobe. That's a big old.
Well, and you can look at this wall. This plaster's really coming down.
Yeah.
Up there on top and against that wall. That's the old adobe.
Check out that bed. That's a neat old bed there. Look, here's your bedpan. See that? So you wouldn't have to get up in the middle of the night. And this is a scythe they used to use to cut the hay there. Bunch of old monkey wrenches.
Small flat rocks from some of the Indians and so forth.
Yeah, these are the rocks that I forget what they call them, but the Indians would use those to grind their flour. Here's the, kind of like mortar and pestle, I guess.
They're just found out in the fields.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the source. Hey, get out! Get out!
Yeah,
I don't know the source of some of these. Where they actually found those, or
we have a few of them.
Donated those from
yeah, we have a few of them that we've gathered up out of our. We have one lower field that we just put into cultivation.
Oh, yeah.
Recently, we have a few of them.
Old typewriter and some shoes. There's a Indian papoose, the old carrier.
That's a papoose Indian, kind of a, I guess what do they call those? Clapboard or something. They would strap the baby to that. Pretty nice old artifacts here. Lamps.
I'm sure that's not Pony Express era, but
coffee pots.
Molded somebody.
Pony Express era.
There you go. Well, look at that. I'll bet you look at that sleigh with the wooden.
Yeah.
I'll bet you that is worth some money, to someone.
Yeah.
Just a lot of antiques.
Yeah, this whole building is just kind of
old ice skates.
Old washboard and
wash tub, ringer. Glad we don't have to do that anymore.
Warps in all these cupboards over the year. Nothing in there, but old Kodak camera box for some reason.
Wow, look, there's a.
I've never pulled that out.
Look at that, a whole selection of pocket knives. Now that's a.
I know where all this stuff came from.
That's an important thing to a cowboy there, to have a good knife, good sharp knife.
Yeah, but explain that at the airport, why
cutting calves.
Knives,
I know.
Knives in your I lost mine
Yeah.
one of the last times because it was in my briefcase. And I had no idea that it was there and how it got there. And they
There years ago, there for I think for three or 4 years, I was on that public lands council. We go back there every year, and that gal back there said, "Now you guys, if you'll leave your pocket knives in your motel room, we can get in and out of these government buildings a lot easier."
Right.
So,
yeah, I go to those meetings. But a lot of this now, I don't know. We've got a lot of this old split wire around.
yeah,
Some of it's the old telegraph wire.
old telegraph wire. I see.
Yeah, which is, you know, the telegraph kind of got started as the Pony Express was in.
Now these photos, you won't be able to see them real well, but this is from the Bagley Ranch in 1916. If you can see
Right.
there's teams of horses, and there's
The old station there.
The
Those are some of those trees.
there's the old station, and that's some of those trees that are there now today.
Let's see, there's a picture over here.
There's a couple of
Don't see
teams.
that very well. But here's this real big willow tree out here,
Let's
the
see if
big
we
cottonwood tree
Get
out
enough
there.
light to. Let's
open that
pull
page
that.
up to
Just
that.
pull that off, and we'll see if we can get some light on that. And this is the. Okay, that's that huge. Is this the willow tree?
That's the big that's the Fremont cottonwood
That's the
tree.
Fremont cottonwood.
That's the poplar tree.
And
Now
that's
this
the
tree may not be there. I think this tree got struck by lightning, so the big old split willow tree I think is over here on the edge.
But this Fremont, it's Fremont cottonwood tree. What year was this picture taken?
Well, 1900.
That's in 1900, and then that's the big tree that's the big tree that's outside there. That's supposed to be the largest one in Utah. So there's the proof on the picture there in 1900s.
This picture's taken in 1900 because
Yeah.
this man's wife, I think that's his sister, this man's wife is in this building having a baby that day. So
Oh, I see. She was having her baby in this.
Grandma Edwards was busy having a baby there for the exact date of the picture. You
Okay.
can sign in. I don't know.
Okay, we'll do that, and then we're going to sign the register, and then
Yeah, sign it, register.
we're going to thank Dawn for the tour, personalized tour here, and then we're going to ride up the road there and see if we can find that Kearney Hotel,
Yeah.
and
So sign
see what
in,
that thing
and
looks like. So anyway, thanks again, Dawn.
Okay, guys, we just left the Bagley Ranch there. Anyway, we spoke with Don Anderson to give us a tour of the Pony Express cabin there. Visited with him for a while. He's a really nice guy. And then we're just headed up the road east, around a couple turns, and got to go around one more turn here, and then we're going to show you a place that was the original Kearney Hotel, and it was here at the time that the stagecoach was open, and they've said that Will James, when he made his trip west, he stayed in this hotel. So there's Don said there's a gentleman that's bought this recently and just kind of fixing it up there, so you can we'll pull over. Anyway, we'll pull over here and let you take a little look there. That's the Kearney Hotel. It was like a bed and breakfast back then, and it was back here in the 1860s, and it's still here today. So now we're going to head out.
we're going to head over to what they call the Weiss Highway, and Dawn told us we could just head over this way. It's a little kind of little cut-off road shortcut, so we don't have to go back to that Lincoln Highway. So we're just going to be cruising along this way and headed back to home, and I'll bet you Ellen's be happy, or she'll be ready for us. So it's been a fun ride today. We've we've got to get on the gravel and the dirt. We've had some breakdowns. We've had some storms. Got to see some beautiful country. And then we got to stop and visit with some nice people there, visit with Dawn. So anyway, until next time, folks, this is Dr. Dual Sport, out.